Who did the first Glorious Bomb? Like, whose idea was that?
It was a mix. I would assume for sure Johnny started the conversation because he's always, he's a big social media guy. So he's always looking at all of it. Yeah. Whether it's Instagram, TikTok. So he's bringing things to me constantly of like, here's the concept and I'm kind of the doer. Like, here's this concept that this comedian's doing. Yeah. Oh, well, here's a way we can make this work. Like, gotcha. That's kind of how we work really well together. So I remember us being on some road loop and so the reason we love the music is because we all 32 of us for the Cruiserweight Classic thought Glorious was the music for the Cruiserweight Classic. Because we're there for the Cruiserweight Classic and we're doing the rehearsal day and it keeps playing. So we're like, this is the cool. We're like, this is awesome. We thought, because they did this thing for Cruiserweight Classic where all 32 of you got introduced and came to the ring and you did your thing. So we're like, that's what we're coming out to. This is so cool. And then we found out, no, this is for Bobby Roode. He's coming. He's going to be a big star, not you idiots. So we always had a thing for the song. And then we're on like a live event and he started coming up with like, I want to do something with it. But then from there, it just was a snowball of like, all right, so we have to like have one of us play it on the phone. One of us, well, what should Bobby do? I think the first video ever, we sneak up on him in the gym, I think, because that was like there, it was just at the time. But then it just became like, how else can we sneak up on that? Because like once, no one cared, but then once it became a thing, everybody had ideas and social was in on it. And everyone like, when are you going to do another one? They're like, well, we can't do like, them too. We only would see Bobby on live events. He wasn't living in Florida, so like only when we were live event loops. But that made it even better. But I mean, some of the stuff was great. Like my favorite one, idea concept wise was, Bobby, we're gonna have to follow you to your hotel room tonight and make it look like you were sleeping in your bed. And like he's such game, and he's just like, yeah, whatever you need. Like, that's great. Because for him, it's like that song I remember was like the number one wrestler song for like months. So for him, he's like, these kids are just making me money. This is great.
And I'm sure you've heard the story. That was originally going to be Shinsuke's song.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. That would not work for Shinsuke.
and that's just the thing, right? Like they gave it to Bobby Roode and it works.
That's so funny.
But it's funny that like they had this great song and they're like, who do we give it to?
Yeah. I wonder how often they're sitting on like gems.
I'm sure it's all the time.
Like even like say we were to be DIY again, I assume we would need new music. And even that, we're like, who do we go to be like, hey, I know you have some stash, like a secret stash. Let me hear the
I'll
secret
give you Jim
stash.
Johnson's contact. I have it.
He was a genius.
There's been more than a few wrestlers who have reached out to me and they're like, could you give me Jim's contact?
I bet.
I'd like some new music.
He did the Austin stuff too, right? And the Rock stuff.
Undertaker and all of them. Yeah, he's the greatest. But it's funny how many people kind of like, behind the scenes have been like, hey, if you could connect me with Jim, I'd like some better entrance music. I'm like, yeah.
That's so funny.
Both WWE and AEW guys.
Wow.
So, I'll hook you up.
Tell Jim to get on DIY.
Yeah, we can make that happen.